Danny from Surfer here with some information that you really care about. In this lesson, we're going to talk about some of your frequently asked questions because no matter how great a tool is, if you don't know how to use it, it really doesn't matter, does it? So let's get into it. Let's answer some of your questions and let's get you feeling even more confident about using Surfer. Question number 1. Why can't I score 100% on the content score all the time? So the content score is a numerical value that ranges from 0 to 100 and represents the quality and relevancy of the website's content in reference to a given keyword. If the search intent within that keyword isn't 100% the same, it will be really hard to make it completely relevant. Moreover, the content score is a calculation that doesn't take into account user experience. Surfer's mission is to help people produce content that people would enjoy reading even if it's SEO optimized. And therefore, it might not be a good idea to trade in the content's readability for a couple of points in Surfer's content score. There's a pretty high chance that the SERPs for a given keyword will change after a while. Since content score is based on what ranks, your efforts to make it high might not justify the time you would spend on that. Usually, once your score is green, you're good to go, and you can start optimizing other URLs. More optimized content means better SEO. One perfectly optimized page wouldn't make up for having 10 unoptimized pages, for example. Number 2, where do the terms to use come from? Terms to use are based on the competitors you picked in the customization panel. Surfer would crawl those websites, analyze the content there, and then calculate which terms are important for the best topical coverage. Number 3, how do you guys come up with the topics for the topic clusters? Clusters in the content planner are based on what we found within the domain that ranks for your seed keyword. So the more alike the search intent for your seed keyword is, the more chances you'll get many relevant topics worth covering on your website. We take a look at the top URLs from the SERP to see which ones rank, and then Surfer scans the web and uses its database to present a ready-made list of article ideas that both Google and your users want to see. They're relevant, connected, and organized. Content gaps? Nope, not anymore. You'll avoid 3 very common SEO mistakes. Thin content, when your content barely scrapes the surface or doesn't match search intent. Cannibalization, which happens when 2 articles target the same keyword and one basically steals traffic from the other. And lastly, irrelevant segment inclusion. With Content Planner, you have a guarantee that all subclusters are topically connected. You won't accidentally harm your topical relevance by trusting all your intuition. Number 4, does NLP actually make a difference? Surprise, it does. Have you ever had a meal that you really liked but suddenly found out that adding one specific spice made it 1,000 times better? It's like that with NLP. Without NLP, Surfer is able to do calculations and our suggestions are based on pure math. With NLP, algorithms can actually understand what the word means and therefore associate it with another term that makes sense. Thanks to that, we can provide you with phrases that are more descriptive so that you won't have trouble adding them to the content. Moreover, thanks to NLP, we can better understand what the content is about and give you our suggestions on relevancy that are much more on point and targeted. And number 5, why is my score different in the content editor versus in the audit tool? Audit takes into account everything that is placed within the body part of your source code. So it'll include any additional elements that you might have, like footers or sidebars. When you're writing in the content editor, you're usually creating your main content there. And therefore, once it gets posted within the content that has already been there, it might affect your final score. Okay, so that's all for now. I don't want to overwhelm you with information, but if I missed anything, make sure to let me know. If you have any specific questions, you can leave a comment or you can send us an email. Our support team is wonderful. I'll see you in the next lesson. We're going to talk about some amazing tools that are useful and practical that you should include in your SEO strategy and in your content creation process. Happy surfing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.